Piece of case law today for it even applies to all the people across the country who are a part of this group. Welcome everybody. We're one big happy family. The guys from the south and the west and the north that don't know New Jersey, New York, you'll be treated like brothers if you come here. We'll give you the utmost respect and the Class A treatment if you come to visit us here in New Jersey. Hopefully you extend the invitation and the courtesy the same way in the south, although we've heard and some people have experienced some different circumstances. I don't know why anybody doesn't think the way we do, but that's okay. Let's talk about a U.S. Supreme Court case, Dunaway versus New York. And the reason I bring this up is because I can tell you a story of I have a friend of mine who works for a large agency, and when I first started writing this course, we happened to be drinking some adult beverages, and he said, he was like, I'm like, what do you do when you have somebody in a car, they're subject to a violation or a summons, you don't know who they are, and you need to fingerprint them to figure out who they are? And his answer was, well, we transport them for identification purposes. And I laughed, and he got a little offended. And I said, there's no such thing as transporting for identification purposes. I said, that's a cute phrase you guys have come up with, and I even used that at one point in my career, but there is no such thing as a transport for identification purposes. It is a de facto arrest and an arrest at that. So I'm going to read this to you, and then we'll talk about it a little bit further. Hopefully you guys get the gist of it. So wherever it says Dunaway versus New York, and I'll attach the hyperlink like I usually do. You guys can read this. Whenever a law enforcement officer removes a suspect from where he is found and transports that suspect to police headquarters for questioning, the police action is the functional equivalent of an arrest. Also, State versus Dickey under a de facto arrest. It's for New Jersey, guys. State v. Dickey, 1998. There's no such thing as transporting for identification purposes, okay? Now, if they agree to come in under their own will, that's totally different. If you have somebody who is saying, look, officer, I'll come in right now, and you can fingerprint me, that's no problem. But if you're taking somebody in against their will, that is a de facto arrest. So handcuffs go on. It's an arrest. It doesn't matter. We had a guy who was a member of this group who recently did this, brought somebody in, did not fingerprint them, and it was just a screwy thing, and then let the person go, did not do a booking sheet, and is, now that agency's facing a little problem. I'm not going to say which agency it is, but he called me and he's like, I'm like, why would you do a booking sheet on that? So, guys, know that when you have somebody in a car and they're subject to a summons and you're going to arrest them because they're lying about who they are, you can't figure out who they are, nothing makes sense, they have no ID, you're going to arrest them to assure they respond before a court in response to a summons. It's an arrest, okay? It's not a transport for identification purposes. And if you transport for identification purposes and don't treat it like an arrest and somebody comes in and complains on you, and they're going to ask, where's the booking sheet, officer? Because you brought my person from where they were back to headquarters to fingerprint them to find out that either they were the person that they were telling you they were or they had warrants for the arrest. But obviously you do a booking sheet at that point. But what happens, it's an arrest, all right? You're allowed to arrest under Title 39 in those circumstances. Don't fail to do the booking sheet in this scenario. You guys just have to know that. So hopefully that clarifies things for people who are out there and playing that transporting for identification purposes game. There's no such thing as that. If you guys want me to discuss a topic, I'm going to put that post back up that says, that opens it up to whatever you guys want to discuss, but also read the post that I just had about passenger side approaches. I know I've done videos on it before, and we have a testimony from a guy who had just attended the 2-day course and possibly chalks up a passenger side approach to a motor vehicle stop to maybe saving his life. And this is not the first time you've heard this. If you scroll back to the page, you'll see that there are several other members of this this congregation and this group that can attest to the same thing. So hopefully you guys get something out of that today. I'm going to attach the link. Whatever you want to hear about, let me know. I'll be on here. Take care. Hey, thanks for watching the video. If you liked what you saw, subscribe to our channel or leave a comment below, and also like us too. It means the world to us.